Make that little change, you'll find it easier than ever before to make that turn that you found impossible to do. Here we are, turn behind. Now in this position, you can feel at the top of the backswing, if you just stay behind the ball, you can feel the energy coming off this right side, the pushing off, the dynamic ground force move there, clearing the hip for you to strike in to out through the ball, through the hitting area here. A nice path right down the target or slightly into out to produce that draw that you might have struggled to get. So all from the setup, those two key points. Hi everyone, Murdoch here, hope you're well. Most of the faults start from the setup, so the whole thing about golf is making sure that you're as close to being 10 out of 10 perfect in your address position and setup before you start swinging. Now, you've got to make sure you understand your limitations too. Your range of motion, issues perhaps with discomforts and pain areas. So make sure you warm up properly. And I'm a big advocate of doing exercises without the club to understand the discomforts of the golf swing without the distraction of a club and ball. So I'm going to assume you've warmed up well, because this video I want to focus on two things in the setup that you're forgetting about. Number one, I've got a driver here and I'm down the handle. That's a key point for you. Go down the handle and make sure your stance isn't too wide. I'm going to refer to this ball position stick, the yellow one, as a wall. Now with a driver, it's very easy to feel that the majority of your body is set up behind the wall. Ball position for most people just inside the left heel. Stance, shoulder width maximum, slightly narrower if you've got a difficulty in rotation or your swing length is only 3/4. Don't go too wide, narrow it a little bit. That'll help you a great deal. And make sure you go down the handle. If you're restricted in your backswing to only being 3/4 in length, grip 3/4 of the club. Swing it more hybrid length, your driver and 3-wood. It will make it much easier to keep your body and arms in sync, both in the backswing and through the ball, to time it and strike it. You'll be surprised of how much distance you'll get from just making those little changes. So the big key things that you're forgetting in the setup is that little hip slide down the target. It's only about an inch or so. That little move towards the target to position myself with load points favoring the inside of my right foot and the spine tilt slightly away from my target. So here we go. My hips have moved slightly down the target to give my spine a tilt away from the target here. That allows for the right hand lower on the club. It puts my right knee and right hip inside my instep to make it very easy now for me to turn. There you are. I can feel pressure on the inside of my right foot, certainly not on the outside. So if you walk at 10 to 2, turn your right foot in a little bit and imagine you can swipe a credit card payment from under the outside of your right foot. That's important. You've now got a load point, a force that feels like it wants to go towards the target that you're going to turn into in the backswing. I've now got my spine tilt away from the target here. There's my line, my ball position line, just inside the heel that I'm imagining is a wall that I've got a good 80% of my body set up behind. Here we are. That's me set up, ready. I can sense now from this address position a really good feeling and ability to turn my right hip and allow my body to turn behind the ball. Can you see now how at the top of the backswing, my spine is turned away from the target? My hip hasn't slid. My right hip hasn't slid. So if you struggle with the lateral move, make that little change. You'll find it easier than ever before to make that turn that you found impossible to do. Here we are, turn behind. Now in this position, you can feel at the top of the backswing, if you just stay behind the ball, you can feel the energy coming off this right side, the pushing off, the dynamic ground force move there, clearing the hip for you to strike in to out through the ball, through the hitting area here. A nice path right down the target or slightly into out to produce that draw that you might have struggled to get. So all from the setup, those two key points, the little hip bump, the turning behind the ball from that spine tilt position, you can see how I've now set up to make, with no real swing thought, a natural move that will be behind, then through on an inside path right to the finish. So it looks something like this. Here we go. So now my feeling now is that setup, the perfect setup, shoulders are back, I'm angled well. I'm now thinking of that center hit on a path slightly inside. So as I load up and stay behind on the way through, I've got a very good chance of striking on a path that isn't a cross. It's square to square or slightly in to out to produce my best chance of a powerful direct hit on the back of the ball with the ability, with a full release, a slight draw. So I hope that helps. Take your time on the setup. A lot of people brush over this. A lot of people forget from playing in bad conditions, playing in the wind, different lies, it knocks your setup about. So really be careful. Make those two little changes and see how that helps you. Comment down below. Tell me how you get on. Like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Take care.